Hello and welcome back to TechNuovo. My name's Steph and today we are taking a look at TopSpin 2K25 on the Steam Deck, and I'm going to be running through the settings that I am using to get the most out of this game. Close to 60 FPS, not quite all the way there. It does hit at the mid-50s, but let's get on with the video and I'll show you my settings. But before we do, make sure to subscribe. And before we get started, let's jump into the settings of the game and go down to properties, because I will show you that I am forcing the use of a specific Steam Play compatibility tool, being Proton Experimental. I have used a few of these just to give them a test. Proton Experimental seems to be the best one to use, and it's worked fine for me, so I've used that one and kept it on there. So let's jump into the game. So now we've dived into the game, let's dive into the graphics settings. So scrolling down to settings, going across to graphics. First up, you've got display, where I've got my brightness and rendering resolution at 161%. My VSync is set at off. If I go across to quality, I'm running a custom preset where my shadow quality is at low, my geometry detail is at high, indirect lighting at high, reflections quality and volumetric effects quality at high as well. Diving into the Steam Deck menu, if I go into my performance menu, scaling mode is absolutely switched off, although you could potentially switch it on to get a slightly smoother frame rate, but I haven't seen it make a huge difference. I have disabled my frame rate for now, although you could, to get a more consistent frame rate, is get that... Oh, I'm going all over the place. Is get that locked in at 40 if you're on the Steam Deck screen, or as I'm not on the Steam Deck screen, I'm plugged into my dock, I could get it locked at 30, but being quite a reactive game, you're going to want that frame rate as high as you possibly can, purely because of the input delay and the slow motion that you can experience in this game. Now, with my graphics settings here, I will say, jumping back into the game, if you take a look, completely missed that. If you take a look at the opposition when we are playing in like a normal game mode, you can see that it's not rendering his body and it only renders in his clothes. This hasn't happened to me every single game. I have had a normal player before, but it has happened this game, and I thought I'd start my filming and start this video literally at this moment so I can show you what I've experienced. But when you jump back into the actual cutscenes, like now, for example, it doesn't do it here, like his body's completely rendered again. But when it does get to gameplay, it does not render in his body. By the way, I'm not the best at tennis at the moment. In the cutscenes, you get sort of between the 40s, 30s and 40s. When I'm in a game, I am hitting that mid-50s. It has gone up to 60s. Before, a couple of times I've seen it like brush past that 60 FPS, but not often. I am sitting at sort of that 50 FPS mark, which I should definitely not have done that. Cool, this is a good rally going on. Oh, I've got him on the ropes. Nice. So yeah, it's hitting that mid-50s frame rate, which I think for a tennis game is not too bad. The resolution is your standard 1280. Well, I'm at 1280 by 720, but 1280 by 800 if you're on the Steam Deck screen. So that isn't too bad at all. If you wanted to play a game of tennis, or you want to get into TopSpin 2K25, then it's at the moment I'm finding it completely playable. Now, if we jump into end match, we'll go on to a different court, because this was a clay court. I'm not sure. I haven't done a huge amount of testing before clicking the recording button. But if we jump into a different court, maybe some grass this time. I'm not sure if any of these are going to make much of a difference. But let's just jump into Brighton. It's an outdoor court, so maybe the shadows will look a bit nice. So again, cutscenes on this game, you're hitting that mid-30s FPS, and the graphics aren't exactly the sharpest when you're running at the Steam Deck resolution, but it doesn't look too bad at all. It's playable. You can skip these if you want to as well. It did dip down there to kind of the 16 FPS mark and is sitting around the 20s and mid-20s. So that has taken a drop compared to the clay kits, the clay court. And now that we're in the actual game itself, we are back up to that sort of low 50s at the moment. Which I think, again, is playable. I'm not feeling like I'm experiencing any kind of input delay. Oh, I've gone the wrong way again. Input delay in what I'm doing. It's certainly a nice experience. Although, to be honest with you, the player has not rendered in again. his body is completely missing. So, unfortunately, oh, how did I miss that? Yeah, that's an issue I think with this game. Although, has he got? I can't quite see. Has he got a head this time? I don't think he has even got a head. Actually, it's just kind of like the skin of his neck, or at least he's not got a face. Oh no! Oh, right, that guy. Oh, I'm out. So he could have easily taken the point there. So we did drop down to the mid-30s during that rally, which, again, I don't think is really too bad, to be honest with you, during the cutscenes anyway, leading up to the cutscenes. As long as the actual gameplay is nice and smooth. I know his body's not rendered in, it's a bit off-putting, but it's playable. That's all I can really say, it's playable at the moment. I have read as well online that people have experienced a little bit of an issue with cutscenes. I haven't experienced any issues with cutscenes, not to say there aren't any, I just haven't seen them. It's been a pretty smooth experience for me playing this game so far. So yeah, this has been TopSpin 2K25. It's not a bad game at all to pick up on the Steam Deck. It's a bit expensive, I must admit. It is a bit expensive, but it's not a bad game to play at all. Yeah, it's nice. Thank you very much for checking out this video. If you did enjoy it, please hit that like button. Subscribe to keep up with our latest Steam Deck content. And also let us know in the comments down below. Are you going to be picking up 2K25 TopSpin? Or are you going to give this one a miss? Let us know in the comments down below. As I say, thanks very much for watching. And we'll see you in the next video.